RingVille episode Brian Baum.
Hey, what's up everyone? How you doing? My name is Kevin Herrera, Sanchez, KHS, and welcome to another episode of RingVille. Today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with someone who's wrestled for Battleclub Pro. He has one of the best nicknames out there, the Thicky Time Bomb. Brian Baum, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah?
I'm
Are
tired.
we interviewing you today?
You.
Give me the cards. All right. So we are here with the best host in the world.
That's great.
Me, Brian Baum. So, what's your name?
Dave.
Dave. Hey, is that really your name?
No.
Sorry.
I don't know what to do now. Like,
We should keep that in.
No, this is me talking in the sense of...
Oh, okay, sorry. Take 5.
Not a professional here.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's been a long day. Where am I looking? It's been a long day.
It actually has been a very long weekend for you because you're just coming off of having Fight for Pride 2.
Presented by Battleclub, really?
Overall, where are you mentally, emotionally?
It was an amazing event. It was, my heart is honestly full. If I just put all jokes aside and all antics aside, my heart is just honestly full. When I did Fight for Pride 2 and just Fight for Pride in general, my vision that I had with Battleclub and with Jaco Morales was to do something that felt authentic to the community and that would spotlight the community.
Mm-hmm.
As a gay man myself, spoiler alert if you don't know.
Dropping news.
Shocked. Breaking news. Come on, good. Exclusive.
Nice.
No, but honestly, as a gay man myself in the wrestling business, there's been, oftentimes in locker rooms, there's so many nice people. There's so many people who want to be helpful, but there's also people who don't understand and we don't support. But you're not always around your people, right? I always say, like, whether you're Latino or you're a woman or you're gay, there's something different around being around your people and not having to explain and just that comfort.
Just being you.
Exactly. And Fight for Pride was that. It was just like, I'm around my people, and when you have that comfort, it's like you can have the best matches you can have. You can put on the best performance because you're not worried about the other stuff. Okay. You're just worried about, like, let's make a fantastic, amazing show. And honestly, 10 out of 10, I feel like and I say we intentionally because it was a group effort, but we did that shit.
That did?
Yeah. I killed that. Yeah.
You're someone who, when I've had people appear on the show before, your name has come up and you're spoken about in a way where it's very caring and you're like a guardian angel over certain people in the wrestling community. What does hearing that or like hearing what people say about you mean to you?
It means a lot, I think it's such a sweet thing to hear. It's who I want to be. It comes from childhood, honestly. I have really vivid memories like playing baseball as a kid. And I remember just feeling like out of place, right? Like I was like, I'm gonna play baseball. Well, my mom put me in it because, it was like, that's what boys do, right? And I remember just kind of feeling like I was forced to do it. Okay. And then being bullied there by the kids. And then in Catholic school, I was really heavily bullied. And I just never felt like I belonged, And I remember as a kid making a promise to myself that, like, if I become an adult or when I become an adult, I just wanted to make sure that I never made anyone feel the way that I felt like the world made me feel. Okay. And so it's not even intentional. It's just like in my bones and in my spirit. But I often just want to, like, create supportive spaces for people and really help people. So it means a lot when they say that, because I know I really truly understand what it means to just feel left out or feel like you don't belong. And in the wrestling business is so macho. Again, there's a lot of amazing people. I'm not trying to put anyone down, but it really is challenging when you're different, whether you're gay, you're trans, you're bi, whatever you may be. Not everyone understands your lifestyle. Not everyone agrees with it. And that can be really hard when you're trying to make it somewhere. You're trying to be the best version of yourself. So it means a lot because I really do it from a place of just a genuine love. That's a beautiful thing to be able to do. And it's actually pretty interesting 180 in terms of character because you're such a loving, sweet person. But then when you appear on these Battleclub shows,
the way you play out the crowd and just like your relationship with the crowd. You're not the most loved person,
It's interesting.
which, I think they're wrong, right?
Of course.
But like, what is it having that relationship with the crowd?
I mean, I love that shit, right? I always attribute it to this, right? You, me, anybody watching this, we all have different facets of who we are. We can be sweet people, we can piss us off, we can be nasty people, we can be loving people, right? Like we all have the ability to be different things, feel different things, etc. So for me, when I'm in that, sassy, bitchy era, or I'm playing a heel, I'm pulling from yes, I can be a sweet person and whatnot, but I'm also pulling from just as authentically other parts of who I am, right? So when you are bullied, for example, as a kid, you fight back, right? You learn how to protect yourself. And also just being, gay in the community, we love to throw what we call shade and throw quicks at each other and be sassy. Like, it's just, I don't want to say all of us because we're different, but it's in me. And I love putting someone in their place, right? So if that's a way, I'd snatch it right now.
It's glued on pretty quick.
Let's see. But I love it. It's just like, I want to play my role, right? So if I'm a face, it's like, how do I get them to care about me? How do we identify, how can I pull them in? And so if I'm being a heel, it's the same thing, right? Like, how do I get them to boo me? How do I get them to hate me, right? If they're cheering me or they're quiet, I'm not doing my job. And so for me, that's what it's all about. It's like, am I telling the story that I want to tell? And, the great thing about wrestling is you get immediate feedback if you're doing that or not.
Yeah, you feel it.
Oh, you feel it. It's like it's addicting. That feeling,
At last week's Fight Fight 2, you actually made your return.
I did.
And you were announced that you were officially cleared. Congratulations.
Thank you.
After a pretty gruesome neck injury.
Yeah.
What is it like to be back?
It is, it's amazing to be back, but when I first had the injury, that's not the question asked, but I'm going to start here. When I
Do what you want.
As I will. Here's to asking myself, thank you. So how did it feel to have a neck injury? Well, when I first had it, I was feeling symptoms like I was getting like a numb arm, tingling in my thing. And as wrestlers, we work through pain. I was like, I'll just take some Advil. But in the back of your mind, something's not right, or I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't want to be confronted with like, I can't do this, right? Like that was so scary to be able to like, I can't do this. But before wrestling comes your health, and there was a point, it was like, I don't want to be in pain. Like, what is happening? So I got it checked out. Long story short, I had 2 doctors basically tell me, like, you shouldn't stop wrestling because I had a neck injury, a herniated disc, and a bulging of the disc. That's as much of the medical terms I know. I'm going to mess it up. Bulging. It's a whole nother conversation. But the point being that it was serious enough that, like, if I made the wrong move or if I landed wrong, it could be potentially serious. They akin it to Paige as one of the doctors who knew wrestling. And so I was really sad when that happened. I was like, I don't know if I can wrestle anymore, right? And I was coming to terms with that privately. And I saw a third doctor who was a surgeon. And basically he said, like, if we do this surgery, there's a chance you could come back. But it was all up in the air. So when I posted a picture of my glutes, sometimes I think people think like, oh, he was dramatic. He's back 4 months later. But when I posted the picture of the glutes, sort of like signifying the potential end of my career, I really didn't know. And I really thought that was potentially it.
Right.
So to answer your actual question, what does it feel like to be back? It feels amazing because I truly didn't think it was going to happen. And so in some ways it feels very unexpected, very shocking. But injuries changing, and so I'm learning to wrestle with the sense of fear that I didn't have before. So it feels great, but I've also feel changed.
And what is that like mental battle like?
It's hard because when I first started wrestling, I was very kind of like balls to the wall. I wasn't dangerous or do anything that like I felt like would put me at risk, but I didn't overthink it too much. It was like, just go, just do it, just try it. And I picked things up pretty quickly. But now, like, for example, in wrestling, it's called to me falling back is taking about, I'm sometimes doing things in practice where I'm like landing on my elbow. I would never do that before, but it's like my natural body response to try to protect me. So I'm trying to unlearn all of that. It's like my body's trying to protect me, and then it's like it's actually putting you at risk when we do things like that. And so it's a new battle. It's a new thing that I face as I wrestle, because I want to be a great wrestler, and I really enjoy wrestling. And so it's just it's something I hadn't experienced before, and it can be challenging sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to what you do and everything that you're going to do. Just last week, you won the Battle at the Ball. You know, and like you had a very interesting interaction with Sammy Cams.
I did. I mean, so talking about the Battle at the Ball first. One, the name, right? So are you familiar with what Ball is?
Then that's like a big elaborate party.
Kind of, a little bit.
Okay.
Close. Not quite that close. So ballroom culture in the LGBTQ community back in the day, and like maybe I don't want to give an exact date because I'll get it wrong, but like young, queer, black, especially black and Latino youths would create what they called the ball, right? And so there were some often drag queens who were part of it, who would have houses, and they would, a lot of the kids, not all of them, but a lot were either dealing with homelessness, had faced family rejection, etc. What it was creating this space to feel like you could live your fantasy and live your dreams when so many things were outside of your control. Again, whether it was homelessness or family rejection, etc. And you would go to these balls and you would present, they were called categories, and are called categories. These balls still have it, and they're grandiose and they're amazing. It could be like femme realness or like mass realness or executive realness. And the point was to perform in that category, right? And then you would get judged, like if you did well, and somebody would win, and they would win in a trophy, et cetera, et cetera. Like RuPaul's Drag Race is probably, it's not a doll, but it pulls a lot. It pulls some elements from that. So they had the runway, for example, the judges. That's very much from both culture. So Battle at the Ball it's a Royal Rumble, but it's paying homage to a ball. And so individuals coming through the curtain, through that runway. So for me, just being part of that is special, because it's like, it's for LGBTQ wrestlers, it's that like beautiful mix of like who we are as part of the LGBTQ community and love for wrestling. So like, that's just fun. And it was crazy. There were so many references in there of like queer culture, like Jordy, who's a wrestler at Battleclub, Jordy Gem. She was voguing through it. And I came as a surprise entrant. So people didn't know that I was clear. I had only found out a week before the event from my doctor that he cleared me to return to the ring. So I wasn't sure if I'd be part of it. Yeah. So I entered, I won. Was it the nicest person? Really? It's like I did what I had to do. It was me and I got the job done, and I did it in my way. It was me and AJ Slater, the final two. And I said, you know what, it's LGBTQ show, like, let me kiss him. So I kissed him, like, homage to the Beth and colleague spot, and I threw him out. And that was when I revealed that my neck was fine, and the crowd hated me, you know.
Although you're healthy?
Yeah. Right, you deserve the neck injury. Well, they hated me because earlier I told them I was straight, and so it kind of ruined their morale.
You're not?
Well, it depends on the day. It depends on the day. At this exact moment, yeah. But then, so winning that gave me a shot at the Fallout Championship. That's is one of the belts. She's just taking one of his belts. She's the good selfish, like, good girl, what's up? So she has the Fallout Championship belt, and that was the belt that I won the #1 contendership for. So I decided to challenge her at the end of the night, and I got to choose the match. So the only thing that was really shitty that Sammy KF did is because she was so tired from her match with Su Young, she told me that she wouldn't grab me a match, but that if I won this match that I asked her for, that I could then choose when I get the title shot, anywhere I want, any place, any type of match. But that if I lost, that I wouldn't get a shot at the belt, that I'd use my shot, which I think is bullshit.
You won the show?
Yeah, like, why would I, girl, so you see. People think I'm the bad guy, but they need to look closely at who she is. But I decided we had an evening gown hardcore match, which is amazing. And because she's a piece of trash, I gave her a garbage bag because I'm so kind. I was like, this fits your aesthetic, put it on. little tiny bit from Arya, who hit her with a glass bottle over her head, but not encouraged. Nothing. I mean, just like she saw Sandy stab on me. She's not going to let that happen. So we pulled the garbage bag off, and now whenever I want, when I want, and in the match that I want, I get to face her and guarantee that I'll take that belt off of her.
So as a whole, it sounds like the show was incredible. The fans came out to support the wrestlers, did their thing. It was just an amazing experience. Now, behind the scenes, what was it like to put that all together?
I mean, one, it was amazing in the sense that, like, I could share my vision. I could work with people I trust and respect and try to make a vision of pushing LGBTQ wrestlers and allies forward. And it touched, I'm a very creative person, so I did the graphic design for the poster. I did the partnership with New York City Pride. And so a lot of my skill set and the things that really just bring me joy I was able to tap into, and that was all super amazing. I think the hard thing with a show like that is just trying to maintain the integrity of the show, meaning like really uplifting LGBTQ talent, really making sure that our stories are told authentically. And so for me, I wanted to do it as right as possible. Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican and I'm a gay man, but like I don't represent the L, I represent the B, I don't represent the T, and even though I've many friends who do. But for me, I really took it to heart to like, I didn't want it to just be gay men, for example, right? So I was like, how do I just really make sure that this is an LGBTQ show? And it's not just like what my experience of deeper gay. And so that's, for example, we had Nick Winters versus Brianna Bands, which were two Black trans women. And that match was the match that was the most important to me to have on the show, because I felt like, especially in this political environment, especially when you have like corporations, things like that, taking their support away from the community because of trans issues, I was like, we absolutely must have, trans people at the forefront. And so decisions like that, like the things that I really made sure that I went to bat for and that I made sure it happened, come hell or high water. But luckily there was a lot of support and other people on the same page. Yeah. But that was probably the most challenging, just making sure it was as authentic as a vision as possible, recognizing and have the full experience of the RingVille, so to speak.
It was presented by Battleclub.
Yes.
And it's safe to say that it's your own promotion.
The Fight for Pride?
Battleclub.
No, Battleclub's not my promotion.
No, it's like your home promotion.
Oh, I just was like joking. Like, hey, Judy. Jaco Morales is the owner of Battleclub and does a phenomenal job. I do not envy him. Putting on one show is like once a year, I am fine. It is a lot of work. I have a newfound respect for promoters. But yes, Battleclub Pro is my home promotion. I mean, I've wrestled in many places. Necessarily California. I've wrestled in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I've wrestled in a number of different promotions. But Battleclub is the one is my home promotion. It's like family, It's like we love each other. Then there's tough days, and then there's days I want to strangle people, and then there's days where you just you do something together as a group, and it's just like, these are my people. Yeah. But Battleclub and Joe specifically have given with so many opportunities. And I'm so appreciative for Joe in particular for just letting me be authentically who I am, and giving me the encouragement, and not just the encouragement, but the space. It's really important to me as a gay man to just make sure that I'm authentic, right? I think this wasn't your question, but me, I'll answer my own question. A lot of times, thank you. So how does it feel to be an openly gay wrestler in the wrestling scene? Thank you. So, I think I try my best to explain it, and it's so hard, especially to straight people, but like I know you're Latino and I'm Latino, so sometimes I'll explain it in those terms. But there's the experience we have as Latinos, or speaking for myself as a gay man, that we know are authentic to ourselves, right? We understand what it means to be Latino. I understand what it means to be gay. And then there's the way we're portrayed to the world, right? Which don't always match up that, right? It's like you look at Latinos in media, for example, depending on the news channel you see, or depending on the story, it can be very stereotypical, right? But when you go home and you open your door and you see your family, or you're with yourself, you're with your childhood, you know what it means to be Latino. It's the same in gay culture, right? I know how beautiful the community is. I know how amazing my friends are, right? But if you turn on specific news channels, you see a lot of vilifying of trans people. Or if you think of like gay people in wrestling, they think we should be sassy and they think we should kiss people and they think, you know, all these stereotypes. And it's not that we're not sassy. It's not that we don't kiss people of the same gender, but that's like such a small part of who we are. And I think sometimes in wrestling, people relegate us to that very, very small part and miss the much larger part of who we are. But it's that small part, the larger part, and the other part that makes us who we are fully. And so for me with Battleclub, etc., it's like I can just be myself and I can choose when I want to be sassy, right? I can choose when I want to be aggressive. And for me, I never wanted to be the gay wrestler, right? I don't want to be like, oh, that's the gay card in the spot. So people may think that and have that opinion. I can't. I understand I can't like tell people how to react to me. But for me as a wrestler, right? Like if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back just as hard, if not harder, right? If I'm clotheslining you, I'm trying to win a match. My clotheslines don't feel great, right? And so even though I'm a gay man, when I'm in the ring, I'm a wrestler, right? And that's always what I'm trying to communicate when I'm having my matches. But I think sometimes people who aren't from our community think that somehow maybe we wrestle differently or we do things differently. And it's like, no, just like you do an arm drag, I do an arm drag. Or just as you want to win the match and get your finisher over, so do I. And that's something I really, that kind of like full picture of who we are as people is really important to me to present. And it's also like even, for example, like Sunny Kiss, she's not one of my favorite wrestlers, sweetheart in and out of the ring. I would describe her as like feminine and strong, right? And I would imagine a lot of times people see her and will sort of put stereotypes on her, right? But she is incredibly strong. She will military press people. I love the spots when people kind of believe her. I should have just knocked them out with her fist. And to me, that's who we are, right? We can be fun. We can vogue. We can be sassy. But you, as wrestlers, you piss us off. Yeah, I'm going to military press you. I'm going to beat your ass. Or I'm going to punch you hard in the face. So no matter how we present, it's that kind of soul picture that I think is what I think people sometimes miss. But I think for those of us who are openly LGBTQ, that like we're constantly trying to convey that we're many things. We're not just, you know, the thick of that one thing box.
Thank you very much for taking the course.
You're welcome.
Do you have any more questions to ask yourself?
What is the most disgusting food in the world? Let's see if you know the answer. Tofu? Well, clearly he did not know the answer.
That's not.
No, it's actually not. It's tofu delicious, but cheese. Cheese is disgusting.
That tofu delicious and that's that cheese.
Comment below. So, you know, if you commented below, comment below if it's tofu or cheese. What is more disgusting? I'm going to say most people are going to say cheese. It stinks. It has terrible texture. It's inconsistent because like blue cheese and cheddar cheese and other cheese, they're all different. And it just tastes
that variation of cheese.
We're not gonna see eye to eye on this one. So.
You asked the question. It was on your list. I did ask that through you.
Like you say smart, but cheese. Don't eat cheese.
What are some of the proudest accomplishments in your career?
That's a good question. I done with that one. I would say if I had to narrow it down to three, obviously Fight for Pride would be probably the top, just because it's bigger than me, and being able to have the community. I would say just starting to wrestle. I'm in my 30s. I started wrestling in my 30s. So it wasn't something, it was kind of a gamble. And I was like, you know what? YOLO, live your life, do it. And I would say wrestling Jack Cartwheel, who's a WWE talent in San Francisco. There were like 2,000 people in attendance. It was one of my favorite matches. And it was the first time in one of my matches where I felt like, oh, I get it. And they hated it when I was on. I fucking loved it. I'm saying those two off the top of my head.
Anything you would like to point to the cameras?
Anything I like to put to the cameras? I should plug like who I am and visit me on social, but honestly, like be good people, treat each other with respect, especially with all the things many of us are going through. be the change you want to see in the world.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time.
Of course. Your pleasure.
It is. Yeah, it is ours or some. Thank you for not using the whip on me.
Oh, I forgot about this. Cut.
What?
I said cut.
Oh, what are we cutting?
So they don't see what's about to happen. Oh.
Dude, how did you slip? What's wrong with you? Are you okay?
Thank you for picking me up off the floor.
Yeah, it was crazy how you slipped.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember anything actually.
But really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
You slipped. I was telling you, oh, you have a nice shirt. And then it's just like, bam. And I was like, that's crazy. But I'm so glad you're.
yeah, it's okay. It's good. But yeah, thank you very much for taking the time. Of course, I like the gummy bear shirt.
Thank you. We love a bear.
Shout out to Bears.
Just like that. What kind of bears do you know? I'm going to make a video for you, like actual bears. And that's how they're going to be growled.
Yeah, just put that audio clip. Yeah.
A little scary.
Well, until next time, everyone.
We out.